introduction, did you find out about 33 days to the Holy Family and think to yourself, really? Another 33-day consecration book? Aren't there enough of these kinds of books already? It's understandable if you think that way. Nobody can deny that in the last 10 years or so, here there have been a lot of 33-day consecration books written about consecrations to Mary, God the Father, Saint Joseph, the Eucharist, Divine Mercy, etc. It can be a little overwhelming sometimes. Nonetheless, the times that we live in are so evil and so fraught with theological and spiritual confusion that consecration style books have helped a lot of people experience spiritual renewal and grow in hope. These books have served a catechetical tools by offering straightforward answers and doctrinal clarity on topics that are often misunderstood. In confusing times such as ours, it's good to have clarity, doctrinal precision, and black and white answers. You most likely would agree that there is a lot of confusion today regarding the family. No matter where you look, governments, organizations, and institutions are promoting new definitions of family and marriage, women and men. Cannot all be right. Shouldn't there be a God given blueprint for this stuff? Models that we can look into in order to know that with this that these things actually are. The answer is yes. Catholicism has the blueprints. It's Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, the Holy Family. The Holy Family serves as the pattern and model for marriage and family, demonstrating what these are, as well as the correct understanding of masculinity and fatherhood, femininity and motherhood, babies and children. God knew the great confusion and diabolical social messiness that would occur in modern times. For this reason, beginning in the mid 19th century, he began to pour out his Holy Spirit and inspire popes, priests, nuns, and laity to initiate new movements that will focus on the Holy Family. Let us explain. On December 8, 1870, Blessed Pope Pius IX proclaimed Saint Joseph the patron of the Universal Church. The fruit of the fruit of highlighting Saint Joseph was an increased interest in and devotion to the Holy Family. For example, after Pius IX, the popes began to write and speak about the Holy Family in official documents of the Church, and every pope following him has done so. New movements, associations, confraternities, and religious communities were founded to spread devotion to the Holy Family. Pope Benedict XV said, with the increase of devotion to Saint Joseph among the faithful, there will be there will necessarily result an increase in their devotion toward the Holy Family of Nazareth, of which he was the august head. Prior to the 1870 proclamation declaring Saint Joseph the universal patron of the church, there really wasn't much emphasis on the Holy Family in Catholic teaching and devotion. Obviously, the Holy Family has always been praised by the church, and certain saints and ecclesial figures throughout history were particularly devoted to the Holy Family. Yet the church never really saw the need to delve into the mystery of the faith. This neglect was certainly not due to any ill will or lack of love. To the contrary, until modern times, every Christian intrinsically loved the Holy Family, knowing that this mystery was the core of Christianity. None of that was in doubt. There was no threat to the Holy Family or family life in general. Even in difficult times filled with moral decay and theological confusion in the church, neither the Holy Family nor the family in general was questioned, attacked, or redefined. Everyone knew what the terms man, father, woman, mother, and child meant. Everyone knew what the terms, or even pagans and delusional heretics didn't seek to deconstruct the family. Sadly, that's not the case today. Did you know that the last great Catholic basilica is still under construction in the world today, is dedicated to the Holy Family and had its beginnings immediately after Saint Joseph was proclaimed patron of the Universal Church in 1870? It's the Sagrada Familia, Holy Family Basilica in Barcelona, Spain. Construction began on March 19, 1882, the Solemnity of Saint Joseph, and the basilica is still under construction in our day. Interestingly, the basilica was originally intended to be dedicated to Saint Joseph and secondarily to the Holy Family. Shortly after proclamation declaring Saint Joseph the patron of the Universal Church, Jose Maria Bocabella, a devout Catholic from Barcelona with a particular zeal for promoting Saint Joseph, made a pilgrimage to Italy. While there, he was inspired by a visit to the Holy House of Loreto, the family home of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph from Nazareth, which mystically transported to Italy in the 13th century by angels. When he returned to Spain, he initiated the construction of a neo Gothic church dedicated to Saint Joseph and his Holy Family. In light of the church's new emphasis on Saint Joseph, Bocabella envisioned a shrine in Barcelona that emphasized Saint Joseph, similar to how the Holy House of Loreto highlights the Virgin Mary and is often simply referred to as Our Lady of Loreto. He knew that something special was happening in the church regarding Saint Joseph, and he wanted to highlight his importance and draw people to the Holy Family through him. It was a brilliant idea, and the Holy Spirit inspired it and used it as the foundation for a basilica dedicated to the Holy Family. 1 year after construction began, Bocabella became overwhelmed by the project and felt the need to step away from it. The same year, the architect he had hired also decided to resign. At that point, only the crypt of the shrine was complete, a crypt entirely dedicated to Saint Joseph. It's an absolutely beautiful neo-Gothic chapel with an altar dedicated to Saint Joseph at the center. Providentially, the crippled end up serving as the pillar and foundation for the larger basilica that will come to build over it, one entirely dedicated to the Holy Family. In 1883, the renowned architect Antoni Gaudi took over the project. Gaudi himself was a devout Catholic. His cause for canonization is currently underway. That's amazing. When Gaudi took over the project, he and others decided to continue construction but with an important change. The rest of the basilica will be focused on the Holy Family. One of the reasons of this was because a very holy nun in Barcelona was seeing to the construction of the shrine dedicated to Saint Joseph at that time. The nun was Blessed Petra of St. Joseph, 1845 to 1906. She was very devoted to St. Joseph and even had visions of him. To have two shrines dedicated to St. Joseph in the same time would be odd. The shrine that Blessed Petra constructed is known today as the Royal Sanctuary of St. Joseph of the Mountain and is one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful shrines dedicated to St. Joseph in the world. Much smaller than Sagrada Familia Basilica, it's built in a neo-Romanesque Romanesque style and was completed in 1902. While Blessed Petra of St. Joseph worked on her shrine dedicated to Saint Joseph, Antony Gaudi received theological guidance from a holy priest regarding the construction of Sagrada Familia Basilica. That priest was Saint Jose Manianet, 1833 to 1901. He was a zealous and devout priest who was very devoted to the Holy Family. He founded two religious communities dedicated to the Holy Family, Sons of the Holy Family and Missionary Daughters of the Holy Family. He also wrote many books about the Holy Family and was known for his zeal in preaching on this mystery of the faith. He was canonized in 2004 and is known as the Apostle of the Holy Family. Divine providence was at work in all these things. These papal writings and the founding of the new movements, associations, confraternities, and religious communities dedicated to Saint Joseph and the Holy Family and the holy men and women who promoted new ways of being devoted to the Holy Family were all a sign that God was preparing the world for many attacks against the family that would occur in the 20th and 21st centuries. Now is the time to promote and defend the family and the Holy Family. Now is the time to be consecrated to the Holy Family. This is why we need another 33-day consecration book. It's time for consecration to Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, the Holy Family. They're our way out of the mess we're in. They're the answer. They're the blueprint and model for happiness and holiness. With their guidance and by consecrating ourselves to them, we can help restore order and common sense to a straying civilization. 33 days to the Holy Family follows a pattern similar to all the other 33-day consecration books. It's a book for everyone, individuals, families, parishes, prayer groups, etc. It's not an academic book but presents an easy formula for you to follow daily. Once you pick a start date, simply follow the instructions for each day until you reach day 33 and consecrate yourself to the Holy Family. We have provided a consecration chart here that offers suggestions for when to start and finish so that your consecration day occurs on a liturgical feast associated with the Holy Family. It's that simple. As you embark on this 33-day journey, ask the Holy Spirit to guide you and inspire you to always live under the watchful care of the Holy Family. Let the journey begin.